gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the press conference of the Information Office of the State Council. Today, we have the second press conference of the recent series by central departments, and we have with us Chairman of State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission SASAC, Mr. Zhang Yuzhuo, to brief you on the implementation of the principles of the 20th Party Congress and the high-quality development of central SOEs and to take your questions. We have also with us SASAC Vice Chairman, Mr. Weng Jieming, and SASAC Vice Chairman, Mr. Zhao Shitang. I will now give the floor to Mr. Zhang Yuzhuo for his opening remarks. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to meet you and to brief you on China's state-owned capital and enterprises. The CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, attaches great importance to the work of state-owned capital and enterprises. The 20th CPC National Congress drew a blueprint for advancing China's national rejuvenation on all fronts through Chinese modernization, and also made major plans on accelerating the new development paradigm, promoting high-quality development, and particularly deepening reform of state-owned capital and enterprises. Recently, General Secretary Xi Jinping published an article on Qiushi magazine titled "A Few Major Issues on Current Economic Work." It stressed the need to enhance the core competitiveness and functions of SOEs and set out plans for the new round of SOE reform action, which are also the important decisions made at the Central Economic Work Conference. SOEs are the important material and political foundation of socialism with Chinese characteristics. SASAC has developed a deep understanding of the decisive significance of the two establishes and firmly ensured the two upholds. It will stay true to the two commitments of developing the public sector and supporting the non-public sector, and see that state-owned capital and enterprises get stronger, do better, and grow bigger, thus contributing to China's endeavor to build a modern socialist country. Over the past year, under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, SASAC and central enterprises have earnestly followed through on the decisions of the Central Committee and State Council, risen to the challenges, and worked to promote stable growth of the economy. In 2022, the central enterprises earned 39.6 trillion yuan in revenues, up 9.1% year-on-year. Their profits totaled 2.6 trillion yuan, up 6.2%. And they paid 2.8 trillion yuan in taxes and fees, up 19.3%. Significant progress has been made in SOE reform and development and party building, making important contributions to the cause of the party and the country. That said, we are clearly aware that our work still falls significantly short of the requirements of General Secretary Xi Jinping and the Party Central Committee and the expectation of the people. This year marks the beginning of the full implementation of the guiding principles laid down at the 20th CPC National Congress. SASAC and central enterprises will follow the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, fully implement the guiding principles of the Congress, thoroughly implement the plans made at the Central Economic Work Conference and the Government Work Report to be considered by the coming MPC session, We will work to ensure party leadership, create value, promote self-strength in science and technology, deepen reform, improve the layout, and stay our course, and take substantive steps to promote stable growth, stable employment, and stable prices. We will strive to take up our major responsibility in promoting overall improvement of the economy and make new and greater contributions to a good start in building a modern socialist country in all respects. My colleagues and I are ready to take your questions now. Thank you very much. Now the floor is open. Please identify your affiliation before you raise your questions. CCTV. The 20th Party Congress drew a blueprint for building a modern socialist country in all respects and advancing China's national rejuvenation on all fronts through Chinese modernization. So, what is the new mission and task of SOEs, especially central SOEs, in the process of Chinese modernization? Thank you. That is a very important question. Chinese modernization requires high-quality development. SASAC and central enterprises will focus on pursuing high-quality development, which is our priority task. We've done some thinking, and we think we need to uphold one goal and make good use of two approaches. And that one goal is to make state-owned capital and enterprises get stronger, do better, and grow bigger. This is an important instruction from General Secretary Xi Jinping and the Party Central Committee with regard to state-owned enterprises and central SOEs. It is what the Chinese people expect from SOEs and central SOEs, and is determined by SOE's status and role as an important material and political foundation of socialism with Chinese characteristics, and an important pillar and forces to rely on for the party in governing the country. And for the two approaches, one is to improve the core competitiveness. The other is to improve the layout and structure to enhance core functions. To improve the core competitiveness, there are four key things. First, science and technology, meaning to focus on building self-reliance and self-strength in science and technology. We will work to create incubators for original technology, improve basic research and application-oriented basic research capabilities, break the technological bottlenecks in key links and areas, improve R&D efficiency and return, and enhance the effectiveness of our innovation system in order to make sure scientific and technological strength is well translated into strong enterprises, strong industries, and strong economy. The second thing is efficiency. Through the 6 key indicators, we will make better use of the performance assessment system, enhance lean management, improve operational efficiency, and strive to achieve meaningful improvement in quality and reasonable growth in quantity. The third thing is talent. We will cultivate and make good use of talents, actively participate in the building of national-level talent platforms, and strive to cultivate greater numbers of master scholars, science strategists, first-class scientists and innovation teams, young scientists, outstanding engineers, master craftsmen, and highly skilled workers.
核心竞争力第4个方面就是
The fourth is brand.
就是要加强
It is about
品牌
strengthening
管理，
brand
实现
management
中国
to
制
achieve the
造
transformation
向中国
from
创造
made in China to created by China,
中国速度
from
向
China speed
中国
to
质
China
量
quality,
转变，中国产品
and from Chinese
中国
products
品牌
to Chinese
转变，
brands.
这是增强核心
That is
竞争力。
the four
那么
aspects of
增强核
enhancing
心功
core
能
competitiveness.
重点呢就
To
是要
enhance the
优
core
化布
functions,
局，
the key is to improve the
调整
layout
结
and
构，
structure,
巩固国有经济
consolidate the state-owned sector's
和
critical
国民
role
经济
in
命脉
national security
重要
related
行业
fields
领
and
域的
important
贡献，
industries that are the lifeline of our
加大
economy,
对创新
and work to
能
strengthen
力
the
体系
innovation
建设
capacity system,
和战略性新兴产业的布局，
improve
提升
the layout of
对
strategic
公共
emerging
服务体
industries,
系的保
better
障力，
facilitate
更
public
好地发挥
services,
国有
and
经
give
济
better
主导
play
作用。
to the leading
战略
role of the
支撑作用
state-owned sector as the
同时啊，
strategic
我们
support.
将坚持党的全面领导，
At
加
the same
强
time,
企
we
业
will
党
uphold
建
the
设，
party's overall leadership,
着力推
strengthen
进
party
新一轮
building
国
in
企改
enterprises,
革，
focus on
加
advancing a
强
new
国有
round
资
of
产
SOE
监管，
reform,
为
strengthen the
国
supervision
有
of
结构
state-owned
这样
capital,
发展，
and provide
加快
firm
建设世界一流
political
企业，
and
以
institutional
坚强
safeguards
政治
for
法
the
治
high-quality
和重要
development of
的体制
SOEs and
基
for
础。
building world-class firms. Thank you for your question.
下一个问题，
Next question, please.
西区第5排那位人士。
谢谢主持人。中广记者提问。党的20大进一步强调要完善这个中国特色现代
Second,
企业制度的建设。
The 20th Party Congress stressed the need to improve the modern corporate system with Chinese characteristics. So what has SASAC done in recent years in this regard, and what are your next step in the future?
好，谢谢你。
Thank you for your
我们
question.
国资委的汪杰明副主任呢是主
Vice
管
Chairman Wang Jieming
改
is
革的
in charge of SOE reform, so I will give the floor to him.
谢谢你的提问。
Thank you for your question.
公司治理呢，是各个国
Corporate
家的企业
management is
关
vital
心的问题。
to all companies,
我们呢，必须立足国情，
and we must
针对
base ourselves on national
推
realities
进相
and
应的
realities of those companies and advance corporate
2016
building.
年10月10日，习近平
In
总书记
2016, General Secretary Xi
在全国企业党
Jinping
建工作会议上
spoke at the Enterprise Party Building Conference, and he
两
put
个
forward
一以贯之，
the two
坚
priorities,
持党对国有企业的
that is
领导
to
是
uphold
重大政治
party's
原则
overall leadership, which is an overarching principle that should be
建立
delivered
现代企业制度
unswervingly,
是国
and
有
the
企业
second
改革的
is
方向，
to improve the modern corporate system, which is the direction of SOE reform,
这开
and
辟
should
了
be
中国特
upheld
色国有企
unswervingly.
业现代公司治理的
These are
新境界。
the
近年
the
来，
way
国
forward
资
for
央
SOE
坚决
corporate
贯彻落
system
实两个一以
reform.
贯之。
And in recent
一方
years,
面，
state-owned
坚持和
central
加强
enterprises have resolutely implemented these two
牢牢把握
priorities.
国
On
有
one
企业
hand,
改
we
革
have
发展的
upheld the party's overall leadership and stick
中央
to
企业
the
集团全面完成
direction of SOE
党建
reforms.
入章
Or central enterprise
全部实
groups
现
have
党
put
委
party building into their
党组书
articles of
记
association,
是
and their board presidents
条
are party committee
全部
secretaries.
中央企业集团
Or
公司
central
和
SOE
1.268
groups
重要
and
私企业
12.6 thousand important subsidiaries have formulated lists of major management issues for prior discussion by party committee,
在制度上
providing institutional, organizational, and
建
procedural
好了党委
safeguards
党组的
for the
领导
party
地位
committee's leadership
另
role.
一方面，
On the other hand, we have continued to improve the modern corporate system,
有力促进国有企业
giving a
效
big
率
boost to the efficiency and vitality of SOEs.
独立市场
SOE's
主体
role
地位
as independent market players
公司制改
is
革
stronger.
全
The
面
corporate
完成，
system reform
国有
is
企业
completed,
办社会职能
and we have
全面
divested
扫尾，
the
董事会
social
建设
functions of
持
SOEs.
续加强，
The board of directors
台董事
is
会
getting stronger.
工作
We've
规则
introduced
外
institutions
部董事
including the
选
working
定管理
rules, selection of
靠
external
履职
board members,
职称
remuneration, and
等一系
performance
列
of duties,
制
and
度
other
办法
aspects. The boards of directors are built where they should, and external board members are the majority. Key breakthroughs were made in 3 reforms. The central enterprises management are working now or on contracts. Over 60% of their management are selected through competition, and mid to long-term incentives are expanded, covering 368,000 accumulatively. Through these 2 commitments, the more modern corporate system with Chinese characteristics matches the requirements of socialist market economy. It is feasible and it is of overarching, fundamental and long-term significance to SOEs. Going forward, state-owned central enterprises will take the opportunity of the new round of SOE reform action to deepen the implementation of the 2 tasks and better promote the advantages of the modern corporate system with Chinese characteristics and translate that into governance effectiveness. First, we will integrate parties' leadership into corporate governance. We will apply a tiered and dynamic approach to the lists of major management issues for prior discussion by party committees and party groups. Second, we will improve corporate governance structure. We will select capable board members from outside the companies, ensure the board play a central role in decision-making, and implement the system where the board authorizes management. We will work to build a new type of operational responsibility system and attract more talents into the corporate governance of SOEs so that enterprises' decision-making, governance, and management better match the requirements of the market economy. Third, we will advocate entrepreneurship. We will improve the mechanisms for cultivating, selecting, appointing, assessing, and evaluating SOE entrepreneurs, and improve the material, incentives, and honorary commendation systems. Fourth, we will strengthen corporate governance exchanges and mutual learning in an open-minded manner, including those exchanges between state-owned enterprises and enterprises of other ownerships on equity, operation, governance, and talent, in order to build modern enterprises together. Thank you. Next question, please. "21st Century Daily. My question is about the restructuring of SOEs. We notice incentive efforts in this regard and innovative forms. Could you brief us on your future thinking about this restructuring of central enterprises? What are the features? What are the results? And will you prefer professional consolidation in the future, or would you move toward industrialized integration?"
Thank you for your question. I believe that you show great interest in the matter of restructuring. Thank you for your question. Promoting strategic restructuring and specialized integration based on the market, it is an effective tool for the SOEs to restructure themselves. Now, some figures since the 18th CPC National Congress, central state-owned, about 49 central SOEs have been strategically restructured, and SASAC has established 13 enterprises, and the central SOEs under our supervision has increased from 116 to 98. In doing so, we have effectively increased the competitiveness, innovation, and the power to influence of SOEs. First, we have increased the underpinning capacity of important energies and resources. For example, by establishing the China Mineral Resource Group and China Rare Earth Group and some other enterprises, we have safeguarded the security of important energies and securities. And the reorganization of Sinochem and Chem China and the equity cooperation between Sinograin and COFCO have provided important safeguard for the national security and seed industry security. Second, we increased the efficiency for allocating state-owned assets. For example, after the establishment of Pipe China, by integrating the 89 kilometers of pipelines of the original 3 big petroleum companies, we have ensured that the general public can have equal access to pipeline infrastructure. And after the establishment of China Tower, the sharing proportion of newly established stations increased from 14% to over 80%, and we have saved about 3,600 hectares of land and reduced the investment by 170 billion. Third, we increased the industrial competitiveness. For example, after the reorganization of COSCO and China Shipping, we have led the world in a lot of standards. For example, the comprehensive shipping capacity and the handling capacity of containers. And the Maritime Alliance has been more than influential. And the Unsteel Corporation has been reorganized, and the Baoshan Steel Group Wuhan have also integrated with a lot of powerful steel and iron enterprises, increasing the scale of economy and competitiveness. And also through some other measures, we restructured the whole machine tool industry. That helped us to break the bottlenecks in this industry. We believe that the professional should do the professional thing. That will make us more competitive. Fourth, we have put in place a new industry structure. For example, we established the China Satellite Network Group so as to put in the place of a new generation of telecom technologies. We established the China Logistics. Going forward, SASAC and central SOEs will continue to make full use of reorganization and restructuring, and we will pay attention to the following aspects. First one is we will do our job based on the market, and second, we will go forward based on the functions of state-owned enterprises. Third, we will do our work surrounding the building of a modern industrial system. And fourth, we will pay attention to better allocate our resources. Just now, our friends from the media asked that going forward, will restructuring and integration be more specific, or it will be more industry-based? In my opinion, I think they are mutually reinforcing. So we should not separate them apart, but I know what you mean. So going forward, I think we should do both. Because one will reinforce the other. On the one hand, we will further promote the central SOEs and local SOEs internal specialized restructuring and integration, so that the industries will be more specialized, so that we can enjoy the scale of economy. That will work better for our integrated management and intensive management. At the same time, we will also promote the industry-based integration. That means we need to promote the development of strategic emerging industries, not only within SOEs and central SOEs,
还要突破
but also we need to
的这样一个领域，
think beyond and do beyond the existing area.
各类所有制的企业
And we will
伸开，
open our arms for all
我
the
们呢
enterprises of mixed ownership.
进行
We will
全合作，
do our jobs
共同推动
in equity cooperation based on the market to promote the modernization and industrialization of our country.
还是第二排那位。
Next question.
谢谢主持人。澎湃新闻记者提问。
Thank you.
党的18
The
大以
paper.
来，党和国家事业取得了历史性的成就，发生了历
Since
史
the
性的变革。
18th CPC National Congress, the party and the country has made historic achievements and changes. So what contributions have SOEs and central enterprises made, and what role have they played?
新时代以来啊，
I will take the question. Since the beginning of the new era, the party and the country have achieved great changes and remarkable achievements.
亲历者、参与者，
State-owned central enterprises, as an important part of the national economy, is both a witness but also a participant and contributor. And I think that is mainly reflected in the following 5 aspects.
一呢是为
First,
我国
they have made important contribution to the sustained and stable growth of our economy.
贡献。国有企业啊是市场主体，是经济
SOEs are market players and the mainstay of the economy,
经济责任。
and of course they take up their economic responsibilities and make economic contributions. Over the past 10 years,
高质量发展导
the
向，
central SOEs
大力转变
focus
发展方式
on promoting good quality development and the transition of development model,
都有明
and
显
seen significant improvement in both quality and
规模
quantity.
效益不断上台阶。
Their scale and returns are growing. The total assets of central SOEs grew from 31.4 trillion yuan in 2012 to over 81 trillion yuan at the end of 2022, and their revenues grew from 22.3 trillion yuan to 39.6 trillion yuan.
利润总
Total
额
profits
从 1.3 万亿
Grew from 1.3
增长
trillion
到
yuan
2.6 万亿元，
to 2.6 trillion yuan.
这是规模效益。
That's
那么
returns
效率
and efficiency
明显
and
提升
effectiveness. And now we talk about
企业的
efficiency.
全员劳动生产
Their
率
labor productivity
从每人38.2万元
grew from 382,000 yuan per person to 763,000 yuan per
贡
person.
献呢也很
And they made outstanding contributions in terms of tax and
上缴
fees.
税费
The total tax and
约占
fees paid by
全国税
central
收入的
SOEs
7%。
accounted for 1/7
像社保
of
基金
total tax
划转
revenues of
国
the
有资产
country
1.21万亿元。
and transferred 1.21 trillion yuan
第二
to
个方面呢，
Social
为
Security
产
Fund.
业结构优化
Second, they
升
made
级
important contributions to the upgrading and the improvement of the industrial
中
structure.
央企业呢，大多是分布在
Central
关
SOEs
系国计民生的重要行
are
业。
mostly in areas vital to the national economy, and many of them are industry champions.
国资央
Over the
行
past 10 years,
供给侧结构性改革
central SOEs focused on supply-side structural reform
优
to
增量
adjust existing
持续
assets,
优化
improve
数据结构
additional
有
assets,
力地促
and
进
improve their
产业
assets
体系的
structure.
升级发展。
thus contributing to the upgrading of the industrial structure. Their main businesses are stronger, as
先后
introduced by previous speakers.
49家企业
49
市
SOEs
场化方
went through market-based restructuring and consolidation.
新建或者接收13家企业，
13 enterprises are built
从
or
事
received,
主业的
and
企业
subsidiaries
部署占比达到
that work on their main businesses
93%，
account for
涉及国家
93%.
安全、国计民
And in
生
areas related to
等
national
领域
security and the lifeline of the economy,
超过 70%.
they take up over 70%.
在战略性、关键性领域的影响力
Their influence in strategic and key sectors is growing.
落后产能加快退出，
They
率
speed up
先
the
完
efforts
成了
to
钢铁
phase out outdated capacity. They completed the task of phasing out
任务，
excess steel capacity
完成了
and
2041
handled
户
zombie companies
僵尸企业的处置
and
和特困企业治理任务，
companies in extreme difficulty totaling 2,041, mobilizing existing assets effectively. And their growth has accelerated in emerging industries. In recent 5 years, investment in strategic and emerging sectors had an annual growth rate of over 20%, giving a big boost to the development of the green and low-carbon industries. Between 2012 and 2021, the central enterprise's energy intensity dropped by about 33%, and the emission of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides and other pollutants dropped by over 50%. Third, they made important contributions to the building of an innovative country. Science, technology, and innovation is vital to our country, and over the past 10 years, central enterprises prioritized innovation and R&D, provided good policy support, and to strengthen our nation's innovative force. Their R&D input continued to grow. Central enterprises' accumulative R&D inputs totaled about 6.2 trillion yuan. That's more than one-third of the national total. And last year, the figure exceeded 1 trillion yuan for the first time. The building of innovative platforms is accelerating. They built 764 state-level R&D platforms, and they have 91 national-level key labs. They have also built a strong team of talents. There are 1 million professional R&D personnel, 1.04 million. That is one-fifth of the national total, and they have 231 academicians from the CAS and CAE, or 1/7 of China's total. And they have produced fruitful outcomes in innovation. In terms of power grid, communication, and energy, they have had breakthroughs in key and core technologies. The party's 20th Congress mentioned manned space flight, lunar and Martian exploration, deep sea and deep earth probe, satellite navigation, nuclear power technology, new energy technology, and airline and manufacturing and other major outcomes, and they are all led or participated by central SOEs. The fourth aspect is that they have made important contributions to the comprehensive deepening of reform and opening up. On one hand, they have advanced reform of SOEs and state-owned capital. They have stick to the market orientation, implemented the 3-year action for SOE reform, and improved and built the modern corporate system with Chinese characteristics. The SOEs are all transformed into standard companies and divested social functions and resolved historical problems. The market-based operation mechanism saw major breakthroughs, and they have built new and modern SOEs. On the other hand, they have continued to intensify opening up and cooperation. Focusing on high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, they have intensified their international operations, and overseas assets totaled 8 trillion yuan. They have 8,000 projects, over 8,000 projects, covering more than 180 countries and regions across the world. The fifth aspect, they have made important contributions in providing products and ensuring key national actions. They have practiced people-centered philosophy, followed through on their corporate social responsibility. In terms of poverty reduction and alleviation, they have invested nearly 100 billion yuan, paired up with 248 counties, and all of them are lifted out of poverty. The 248 counties accounted for 42% of total paired up counties and they have helped in COVID response, flood response, and drought response. They have always stepped forward in the face of disasters and played an important
符合
role.
标准做好重大活动保障，
They have ensured key national actions,
中国成立70周年
including the 20th
建党
CPC National Congress,
等重大
the Beijing Winter Olympics and Paralympics, and other major
大国的辉煌
events of the country.
那么迈向新征程，我们将
On our new journey,
大者
we will keep in mind the fundamental interests of the country,
党对国有企业
and strengthen the party's overall leadership over SOEs,
做强
and unswervingly
做大国有
make state-owned capital and enterprises bigger, stronger, and better, and contribute our share to the building of a modern socialist country. Thank you. Next question, please.
谢谢，我是凤凰卫视的记者。
Phoenix
关
TV.
注到20大报告里面提出要增进民生福祉，提升人民的生活质量水平。那么这在
The 20th CPC National Congress report emphasized improving the people's well-being and raising quality of life, so SOEs need to shoulder the new responsibilities. I was wondering what central SOEs have done in terms of corporate social responsibility. What role can SASAC play in this regard?
我们赵世堂副主任呢，分管社会责任，请这个世堂同志跟大家分享一下。
好，谢谢您的提问。
Thank you for your question.
国有企业呢是全体人民的企业，满足人民群众
SOEs belong to all people,
为民服务、谋利
and meeting their needs for a better life
矢志不渝的奋斗目标。
is what
近年来，
SOEs have been pursuing.
和改善民生，
In recent years,
高标准
SOEs have practiced high standards of social responsibility to ensure and improve people's livelihood and achieved positive results.
目前目前
First, we did our best to increase the storage and production of basic products and ensure supply and stabilize prices. Central SOEs are responsible for over 90% of China's oil and gas supply and over 60% of its electricity supply, and over 25% of its coal supply, and have built large power grids, basic transportation networks, and telecommunications networks covering the whole country. In recent years, faced with the shortage of energy and power supply, we have made every effort to allocate resources, ensure supply, and keep prices stable.
发一度、亏一度的情况下，
So for the
全覆
whole year,
累
we ensured that
达到
all people
5.1万
had access to
以
power supply.
4.7% 的中低容量，供应了全国
So
63.1亿的电力，
we provided over 60% of power
接近达到
consumption with just
同比
about 50% of installed capacity.
执行中长期协议，让利超过1900亿元。电网应
And we
加
have
大余缺户籍
sent an infusion of
全年共组织跨区
money
跨省
worth of 190
300多次
billion
调剂电力
to consumers.
450亿千瓦时，最大限度
So we did our best to ensure
石
the
油市
supply
场
of
影响
power.
面对
So
国际
for
能源价
oil
格
and petroleum,
特别是
central
在去年
SOEs
迎峰
interfaced
期间
with
欧洲的
a
天然气价
spike
格
in energy
比上涨
prices,
约10倍的情况下，
and especially
一方面
against the
大力
backdrop
推
that
进国内页岩
the
气的
natural gas prices increased by tenfold in Europe. We still pressed ahead
超
with
过了2060
wind power
亿方，
and marine power generation.
6%。另一方
And we
面，
witnessed an
在
increase in
进口
power generation in
量
these two
较
areas.
大的情况下，
And when
严格执行
the cost of
国家的有关
imported
政策
gas
保持价格。
has increased in price, we
大
implemented
家都知道，去年
the national
我国的
strategies
增幅呢控制在2%，
and ensured
涨幅呢是
stable
1%，
energy
其中呢应该说是电
prices. And we know that the CPI
基础能源价格
for the last year was kept within 2% and the PPI 4.1%.
中央
So
做出了
the central
重要贡献，
SOEs made their due
二是
contributions
主动
in
帮助
ensuring
中小企业
stabilizing prices. Second, we took the initiative to help SMEs to get rid of difficulties.
出台了中央企业
In May last year,
企业纾困减难促进
we
协同
released
发展的27条举措，
27 measures in this regard. So we have
房租实现
made
应
tangible efforts to help SMEs.
我们去年呢，中央企业
Some
累计
eligible enterprises were exempt from rent for a certain period of time. and a total of 19.12 billion yuan has been exempted, benefiting 222,000 tenants. And for China Resources, CRTC, COFCO, we reduced 1 billion yuan worth of rent. And we optimized services to reduce electricity costs. And state grid corporations didn't cut off power supply to businesses that had been behind in payment. Instead, they optimized services to reduce electricity costs, helping enterprises save 17.5 billion yuan on electricity bills. And telecom companies took precise measures to cut internet charges for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, so reducing the internet cost by more than 10% from the end of 2021. In terms of financing, we wasted no time in adopting the policy of extending principal and interest payments on loans for commercial trucks for 6 months, with a total of 57 billion yuan in deferred loans. And the State Grid's e-financial service platform helped 27,000 SMEs obtain 58.4 billion yuan in low-cost financing. Third, we actively assisted in poverty alleviation and eradication. So we helped in a lot of areas. For example, in consumption, in human resources. Since the 19th National Party Congress, central SOEs have committed more than 27 billion yuan in assisted grant, sent more than 20,000 corporate officials to poverty-stricken areas, purchased more than 36 billion yuan worth of agricultural products, and directly recruited more than 60,000 people from these areas, helped more than 250,000 poor workers to find jobs. And in all the 246 key counties were lifted out of poverty. So that contributed a lot in our war against battle. Fourth, we took the lead in promoting green transformation. We intensified energy conservation and emission reduction efforts to build a clean and low-carbon new energy system. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the coal consumption per kilowatt-hour of electricity generation for relevant central SOEs has dropped to 298 grams of coal equivalent per kilowatt-hour. And the utilization rate for state grid corporations has increased to 95%. And the China Three Gorges Corporation took an active part in environmental conservation in the Yangtze River Economic Belt. It has invested more than 130 billion yuan along the Yangtze River and has a daily sewage treatment capacity of 10 billion tons, benefiting 23 billion people. Fifth, we devoted ourselves to completing urgent, difficult, and dangerous tasks. We will be there when we are needed. In the fight against COVID-19, enterprises in construction, pharmaceutical, and other industries rushed to help local governments fight the epidemic and made every effort to ensure the stable supply of medicines, vaccines, and other materials. In disaster relief, we also played our role. We participated in the rescue and relief efforts in earthquake and flood-stricken areas immediately. For example, in the Luding earthquake in Sichuan last September, we devoted over 6,000 people in their rescue, and we donated 1.2 billion yuan in disaster relief. Going forward, we will continue to guide central SOEs to adhere to the people-centered development philosophy, to promote the path to modernization and ensure that the benefits and outcomes of development will be shared by all people. We will continue to ensure stable supply and prices of major energy and resource products, And we will also actively promote rural revitalization and help ensure people's well-being. And third, we will promote the common development of industrial chain ecosystem. And fourth, we will vigorously promote green development and low-carbon development. Thank you.
补充一下，我们刚才石堂主任讲这个，刚才凤凰卫视这位记者提问的。
Now I'd like to give some follow-up remarks. Last year, the energy prices globally increased significantly. The natural gas prices in Europe increased by over tenfold.
我们去年因为我们国家自己，我也在石油天然气行业工作。
Last year, since I worked in this area, so we know that we just had a limited supply of natural gas. Fewer than 200 billion cubic meters of natural gas. And the liquefied natural gas price was high. But we worked to ensure that all the liquefied natural gases were sold at a relatively lower prices. And that's why last year's CPI was relatively low. So central SOEs shouldered their corporate social responsibilities in this regard. Next question.
东区前排那位女士。
谢谢新闻参考报记者提问。刚才您也介绍到，就咱们国企改革3年行动已经完成了。
The three-year project to reform state-owned enterprises has been completed. What are the landmark achievements? Are there any good practices? And going forward, there will be a new round of programs in this regard. So what will SASAC do for this?
谢谢你的提问。
Thank you for your question.
2020至2022年实施的国企改革3年行动，是习近平总书
In
记
the past 2 years,
亲自谋划、亲自部署的我们
the projects to
国企领域的
reform SOEs
工程，
is an important landmark,
整个的
directly instructed by General Secretary Xi Jinping.
深远的意义。
It has far-reaching influence
在呢
historically,
共同努力下，
thanks to the joint efforts
包括
of all sectors,
各位媒体朋友的大力支持下，
including thanks to the support of our friends from the media.
3年行动的主要目标
The main objectives
已经完成，
have been completed,
实现了呢3个明显的成效。
and the expected goals of 3 notable results have been achieved.
和国资监管
First, the modern enterprise system with
成熟定
Chinese characteristics
得明显
and the state-owned asset supervision system have become more mature and established.
完善公司治理，
We
加强
fully implemented
国有企业全面完
the
成
principle
公
of
司改制，
government
38
leadership
万户国有企业实现
and
智慧
to build a modern corporate system. We ensure that the board of directors have been established in 38,000 SOEs.
加快
So now we're seeing an expedited formation of a mechanism of governance
国有资产
that features
监管体制
a clearly delineated responsibilities and obligations.
计划，
And we also uphold
监管优势，
the supervision mechanism over state-owned assets.
性国有资产集中
And we
监管
also improved our centralized and unified supervision of local
及国资委
state
监管
assets.
比例分别
And the
达到
proportion for
18%
SASAC supervision of state-owned assets in provincial level and prefecture level
国有经济
were 98% and 99% respectively.
明显成效，
Second, notable progress was made in optimizing
专业化
the layout and restructuring of the state-owned economy.
过去
We focused on strategic
有
restructuring and specialized integration.
企业116组
Over the past 3 years,
省
7 central SOEs and 347 provincial level SOEs were strategically restructured based on a market-based approach, and we established the China Satellite Network Group and China Rare Earth Group, along with other 6 central SOEs. And our state-owned assets have been funneled to the important industries and areas, and also to prominent businesses of enterprises. We also eliminated the outmoded and backward production capacity and inefficient and ineffective businesses and assets. So we have revitalized 306 billion yuan of stock and created 23.4 billion worth of added asset. And we also relieved SOEs of their obligation to operate social programs and help them solve long-standing problems. And over the past year, central SOEs have invested. Its investment in strategic emerging industries was over 20%. So we ensured a smooth transformation of new and old productive forces. Third, notable progress was made in improving the vitality and efficiency of SOEs. And the turnover was at a sound level. We have broken new ground in various sectors, and the proportions of central SOEs and local subsidiaries that adopted the tender system and contractual management increased from just about 23% at the end of 2020 to the current 99% by the end of 2022. Various levels of central SOEs have laid off 38,000 unqualified and incompetent personnel, accounting for 6.9% of the total workforce. About 5,750 central state-owned enterprises and their subsidiaries have adopted the medium-term and long-term incentives, accounting for 94.8% of all the subsidiaries who have the conditions. General Secretary said that reform is a must for central SOEs to develop and prosper. It is only through reform that SOEs can truly become modern corporations. So now we can see that SOEs are now taking a new look and exudes vitality and dynamism. So a new modern corporations are now emerging, and now they are on a track to build themselves into world-class businesses. So we're guided by the thinking and spirit of General Secretary Xi Jinping. So we are more than confident to continue the SOEs reform and to make them success. There is no end to development and reform. The 20th CPC National Congress specifically laid out the plan to deepen the reform of SOEs. And General Secretary Xi Jinping also announced an action plan to reform SOEs. We will continue to uphold the overall leadership of the CPC Central Committee and to uphold the basic market economic system and to reform. In this regard, we will work to increase the competitiveness of SOEs and to improve their core functions, and we will build on this momentum to carry out a new round of projects to deepen and upgrade the reform of SOEs. We will focus on 3 areas. First, we will accelerate the optimization of the structure of the state-owned economy and make it more effective in serving the national strategy. Central SOEs and SOEs need to play a strategic underpinning role. So that means they need to serve the grand strategy of our country. We need to take a market-based approach to strategic structuring, restructuring, and specialized integration, make great efforts to develop forward-looking strategic emerging industries and promote the transformation and upgrading of traditional industries into digital, intelligent, and green industries, to improve the resilience and safety of industrial chains and supply chains, and promote the development of a new type of industrialization and a modern industrial system. Second, we will speed up the improvement of modern corporate governance of SOEs with Chinese characteristics and truly operate in accordance with market mechanisms. We will take dynamic and multi-layered approach in managing SOEs and improving the quality and competence of the board of directors, and will continue to deepen the 3 reforms and improve the modern management systems. So that means we have taken an all-round approach to developing our SOEs into world-class enterprises. Third, we will accelerate the improvement of institutions and mechanisms conducive to the sci-tech innovation of SOEs and accelerate the creation of high innovative SOEs. We will also work hard to solve prominent problems such as backward mechanisms, input talent, and transformation. We will improve personnel training systems and further strengthen enterprises' principal position in innovation and build a sound innovation ecosystem to play a leading role in sci-tech innovation. Next question.
My question is about the Belt and Road Initiative. The report to the 20th National Congress of the CPC spoke highly of the Belt and Road Cooperation in the last 10 years, and this year marks the 10th anniversary of the proposition of this initiative. So what have Central SOEs done in Belt and Road Cooperation, and what will be done in the future? Thank you, and I will give the floor to Mr. Zhao Shitang. Thank you for your question. As you said in your question, since the Belt and Road Initiative was put forward 10 years ago, Central SOEs have taken an active part in China's overall opening up and overcome risks and challenges about the pandemic and changes unseen in the century and downward economic pressure, and achieved good results in high-quality Belt and Road Cooperation. And I want to talk about the following 3 aspects. First, focusing on infrastructure and industrial parks, they have promoted the economy of the countries they work in. Over the past 10 years, central enterprises have undertaken ports, railways, and airports projects totaling over 200. In terms of transportation, General Secretary Xi Jinping witnessed during the G20 summit last year the successful trial run of the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway. The China-Laos Railway helped turn Laos from a landlocked country to a land-linked country. And Port Piraeus in Greece has become a land-sea shipping hub in the Mediterranean Sea. In terms of communications, the 3 major operators provide overseas services to over 40 countries. And in terms of energy, Central SOEs undertook hydro, wind, and photovoltaic projects, nearly 300. And they have built Karot hydropower station in Pakistan and the ultra-high voltage transmission project in Brazil, helping with the energy green transition and low-carbon development of those countries. They have built and operated more than 20 industrial parks overseas, including the China-Belarus Industrial Park, to help those partner countries to build international capacity cooperation platforms. And so far, there are over 100 enterprises in the China-Belarus Industrial Park. Second, they have taken the initiative to fulfill corporate social responsibility to serve the local communities. The overseas branches of Central SOEs provided nearly 1 million jobs to the local communities and leveraged the indirect employment that is several times of that. The Djibouti Port, Hambantota Port, and other projects carried out Blue Ocean training programs during the implementation of the projects, training a large number of port management professionals for the local communities. And the Cabinda water supply system in Angola provided 600,000 local residents with clean running water. And the China-built Africa CDC headquarters were put into operation, effectively enhancing Africa's disease prevention, surveillance, and preparedness. Third, they have followed international rules and standards and provided good quality products and services to the world. Central SOEs took an active part in the formulation of standards in extra high voltage transmission and 5G communications, and they led the formulation of standards of over 100 international standards in terms of electric power and other areas, high-speed railway, ultra-high voltage, the next generation telecommunication, and Hualong No. 1 went overseas and bringing good quality and low-price products and services to the people of Belt and Road partner countries. And third, going forward, Central Enterprises will promote market-based and law-based and international operations and operate well the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway and other major projects, focus on green development, health and digital sectors, and roll out small but beautiful projects that are small in investment, short in construction cycle, and good in economic and social benefits, so as to achieve better Belt and Road cooperation. Thank you. Next question, please.
The 20th CPC National Congress said we should speed up efforts to achieve greater self-reliance and strength in science and technology. So what achievements have SOEs, the mainstay of sci-tech innovation, made in recent years, and going forward, how to reinforce the principal role of enterprises in sci-tech innovation? Thank you for your question. In terms of sci-tech innovation, we can use two words to describe the role of Central SOEs. The first one is glorious achievements. The second one is a long way ahead. The glorious achievements means that over the years, we have realized a lot of sci-tech innovation results. The first one is the basic and forward-looking areas. For example, in manned spacecraft, nuclear fusion, Beidou navigation, deep sea exploration, and the fast telescope. So all of them are world-class, original sci-tech results. And we also injected sci-tech dynamisms to establishing a modern economic system. We have put in place value chains surrounding industrial chains to ensure that all the core technologies in key areas will move higher in the industrial chains. The major progress includes a 600 km/h high-speed maglev test prototype came off the production line, and in terms of the advanced material, and we have a new 48K large tow carbon fiber project, and that was put into operation, and the C919 large passenger plane was certified and delivered. A number of high-performance equipment have witnessed the ongoing transformation from made in China to created in China. And they also provided important underpinnings for maintaining our sci-tech and energy security. In strategic areas, now we have actively developed pressing bottleneck technologies and filled a number of technological vacuums. And we made major achievements in the demonstration project of high-temperature gas-cooled reactor nuclear power plant, complete set of coal-to-oil technology, deep-sea #1 production and storage platform, and the F-class 50 MW heavy gas turbine. And also, they provided a strong guarantee for the people to enjoy the latest sci-tech achievements. So we accelerated breakthroughs in the seed industry and high-end medical equipment. And in the fight against COVID-19, we started from scratch to develop urgently needed equipment such as mask machines and slicing machines, and made all our efforts to develop and supply testing reagents and vaccines. So all of these are glorious achievements, but on the other hand, there is still a long way ahead. Compared with strong sci-tech innovation powerhouse, we still lag behind. So central SOEs has a lot of potential in making new breakthroughs in the key bottleneck technologies. Science and technology decide the future of enterprises and how enterprises will fare in the future. Going forward, we will grasp the strategic positioning of central SOEs in China's overall sci-tech innovation. So we will show up the weak links, keep with the latest trend, and strengthen the principal position of enterprises in tech innovation. And we will strive to turn out highly innovative SOEs. To this end, we will do three things. The first one, we will continue to make new breakthroughs in the key bottleneck technologies. That includes to creating incubators of original technologies and pursue high-quality breakthroughs in core technologies in key fields and increase sci-tech investment in key areas, such as the transformation of traditional manufacturing, strategic emerging industries, integrated circuits, and machine tools. And we also need to improve our capacity for basic research and applied basic research. Second, we need to make new breakthroughs in improving the input-output efficiency of sci-tech R&D. We will further optimize the structure of input, give priority to sci-tech output, and we will establish a results-oriented work system for sci-tech innovation, and we will improve the mechanism for transferring and transforming sci-tech achievements and speed up technological upgrading. We will establish a more effective mechanism for sharing the benefits of sci-tech achievements so that sci-tech achievements can be commercialized, and researchers will be rewarded. Third, we will continue to make new breakthroughs. In enhancing the efficiency of the innovation system, we will play a bigger role in national decision-making on sci-tech innovation, and we will strengthen the leading role of major products, and we will make good use of platforms such as national labs and innovation consortiums. We will support enterprises that have the right conditions in integrating and transforming into research institutes and application-oriented research institutions. We will set up industrial research departments and lead the deep integration of enterprises, universities, and research institutes. For the interest of time, we have another question.
We'll have one last question, please. People's Daily. You know that since the Central SOE Party Building Conference, Central SOEs have done a lot. So what has been achieved in strengthening party leadership and what will be considered in the future?
Thank you for your question. In October 10th, 2016, General Secretary Xi Jinping attended this conference and delivered a
国有企业党的建设
speech.
那么这
So that was the national meeting on building the role of party within SOEs.
国资央企
So over the past
企业
7 years,
以习近平总书记重要讲话为
central SOEs have been guided by the important speech by General Secretary Xi Jinping
国有企业
and
党的建设，
comprehensively improved the party building.
全面从严治党的责任，企业的政
And
治
also
实现了根本性的好转。
We
国资
ensured
央
that
企从功能定位、发展理念
the party committees at all levels fully take on the responsibility of full and rigorous party governance. So the central SOE saw a fundamental improvement in the political atmosphere, as well as a transformation in positioning, development philosophy, development modes, etc. So it can be said that all
因为国有企业党
central state-owned enterprises attach much more importance to party building,
在宪法
because party building
第一条
is enshrined in
中国
our
共产党
country's
领导
constitution.
中国特色
So the
社会主义的
first
特征，
article
所以在国有
said that
企业
the leadership of the CPC is the defining feature of socialism with Chinese characteristics. So it is imperative to enhance party building within central SOEs. To be more specific,
两个维护更加
first, we are more determined and conscious in implementing the two upholds.
对国有企业的全面领导实现组织化、制度化。
And second, the party's overall leadership over SOEs became more organized, institutionalized, and concretized.
企业领导人员，
Third, we have turned out a team of high caliber and politically committed entrepreneurs. Fourth, the foundation for primary level party building was consolidated. Fifth, more work has been done in publicity under the new situation. And sixth, we're making solid progress in exercising full and rigorous party self-governance.
加强党的
So the facts have
是我国国有企业
shown that upholding party leadership is the glorious tradition of central SOEs in China. It is the SOE's root and soul,
独特
and
优势。
it is what
党的
gives
20党呢
SOE's unique strengths.
推进
The
全面从严
20th
治党这一
CBC Central
大部署。
Congress laid out
我们在
the important plans for upholding party leadership. So we will act on this
第一
spirit.
个主题呀，就是突出
So
以
this
高质量党
First,
建
we need to
引领保障
ensure
中央
that
企业
high
高质
quality
量发
party
展
building
这个主题
will lead the high quality development of central
与
SOEs,
全面从严治党
and we will
体系相
do our
匹配
best to
与中国特色社会
establish a new system that is in line with the full and rigorous
与企业改革发展
party
中心任
building
务相适应的
and the central
国资央
tasks
企
of
党建
central SOEs,
为加快建设世界一流企业
so as to
政治保证
provide
抓实务
political
的重点
underpinnings for building world-class
抓实
enterprises.
组织抓实队伍
We
抓实
also
全面
need to
从严
make
治党
solid,
抓实
take solid
责任
steps
抓实
in ensuring that
宣传思想
the party committees at all levels must shoulder their due responsibilities. Thank you.
谢谢张主任和两位副主任，谢谢各位
Thank you.
朋友。今天的新闻发布会。
Spokespersons and friends from the media. That's all about our press conference. Thank you.